Hey, Joanna, thank you so much for being here in my podcast. I have no clue. I want to get started with a little introduction. So, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Joanna Ashley. I am a sustainability coach. I offer life coaching and minimal waste coaching, and I help people create healthier relationships with themselves, with their people, and the planet.
Yeah, I love that. Just the life coaching and then the minimalist coaching. It's awesome. I love it. I really truly do. Actually, before I met you, I never even thought that you could coach on being minimalistic. So
Really?
thank you for doing that and contributing that to our world. This is my podcast, but I will introduce myself as well. I am Cornelia van Granenberg, and I own Eager Minds Academy. And with Eager Minds Academy, I offer courses in setting goals and how to live, how to choose where to live sustainable. Because I don't believe you can do it all at once. I believe you can take minor steps, make sure it's becoming a smooth process before you add something new to it. And I don't want you to feel guilty when you are trying to be sustainable and it's not working out, like you take the plane or whatever. There are a lot of unsustainable things you can do, and it's okay. That's basically what I want to get out in this world. You can try, you can take steps, but it doesn't have to be perfect. So, yeah. The first question I have for you, Joanna, is why sustainability? Where did it start for you?
Why sustainability? Well, for me, sustainability is cool. It started when I was 23, living on my own for the first time, and really just became aware of my habits, how I live, the things I'm buying, the things I'm throwing away. Just I was forced to really spend a lot more time by myself instead of having roommates. So it really started there with just my waste. And that kind of drew this curiosity of like, maybe I can start recycling and maybe I can start composting. And that was kind of like the baby egg that started. And then fast forward, I'm 30 years old and I have this huge life change and everything just kind of clicked as far as sustainability is more than just reducing your waste. Caring about the planet is so important, but caring about ourselves as human beings is also important, if not more important. So yeah, that's what sustainability is to me and how it all began.
Yeah, it's so interesting. I love the fact that you say that sustainability is cool. I remember writing that down the first time I talked to you. Sustainability is cool. Yeah, it is. It
Yeah.
truly is. It's so cool to be sustainable and care for our planet. But first of all, you have to take care of yourself, right? That's the first step. You can't take care of anyone else. It's like being on a plane. When
Yeah.
they tell you put your own oxygen mask on first in case of emergency, don't do that for the person next to you first because you might like not survive that literally. And I think that's the same for this. Take care of you first and then start taking care of the planet. Yeah, I love that.
Absolutely. It's a great analogy.
Yeah. What's your favorite sustainable documentary?
What the Health is
Oh
probably
yeah.
my favorite because that was really the turning point for me as far as making sustainable changes in the way that I eat. And it really helped me transition to a vegan diet and just helped me understand what goes into the foods that I'm just easily grabbing off of the counter, just like the whole backstory of how that got there. I just had no awareness. I had no idea what was happening. And creating that awareness really blew my mind. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is another great place that I can make a huge impact. And so it really just
Yeah.
got me excited.
Yeah, especially also for, I mean, it is a huge impact for the environment. Going vegan is, I don't know, you reduce your footprint, I think by a factor more than 10. So that's a lot. But going vegan is also very good for your body, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I noticed a huge change in my gut health for sure.
Yeah, I can imagine. What was the thing about What the Health that struck most?
I think it was when they were talking about the hamburger, and they said how I think it was like 330 gallons of water makes like a quarter patty. I could totally have the facts wrong, but it was just like a really
Yeah.
large amount of water for like one patty, like a quarter pound burger. And I was just blown away. And I was like, how can that be? And then they went through the process of explaining it. And I was like, oh my
Well,
gosh.
yeah.
This is great to know. That really like stuck with me.
Yeah, I get that. It's a lot of water. Yeah, you
Yeah,
have to you have to take care of the cow before it can become a burger. So
absolutely.
yeah, it needs to drink, it needs food, and the food does also need water.
Yep.
Yeah, that's huge. It's absolutely huge. I totally get that. Yeah. My favorite documentary is the Biggest Little Farm. And I think it's so I love it because it paints such a positive experience, no, positive way of how we can farm and how it can be actually sustainable. And we can eat a little bit of meat, but just to, I don't know, to make it okay for the soil and the farm to circle, to, wow, recycle the nutrients on the spot because you have the animal there, just means you don't have to eat, you can't eat meat every day. That's just not sustainable. But I think in this way of farming, you can provide just a little bit of meat, like once or twice per month.
Yeah.
And I just love the way that they paint that picture of how
Yeah.
we can actually farm sustainable and do well for our planet. I love that.
Yeah. And it's so different when it comes from your backyard. You
Yeah.
are involved with the whole process. So you're aware of it, and it's a different feeling for sure when you consume something that you're like, oh, I
Yeah.
cultivated this, from
Yeah.
scratch.
Yeah, true. That is true. Hey, what is sustainability to you? I think like definition or something like that.
Yeah. So sustainability to me is all about creating healthy relationships. And, like I said before, it starts with us because, you know, we can't love other people better than we can love ourselves. We spend the most time with ourselves. And, if it's like a child, if I don't know how to tie my shoes, I am not going to be able to teach my niece how to tie her shoes. It just doesn't make
No.
sense, and so I have to learn how to do these things within myself so that I can be around other people and, know who I am, know how to communicate, share what's okay, what's not okay, and not be so triggered and just, have a better grasp on myself, my emotions, everything. So, yeah.
Yeah, I love that way of talking about sustainability because it's the same for me. I don't feel like this is just about the planet. It's about us human beings as well.
Yeah,
And it comes first.
absolutely.
So I think you mentioned it already a little bit in your introduction, but what is it that you do with sustainability as a coach precisely?
So I teach people essentially how to fill their cup, and I'm actually about to launch a beta course on Friday, teaching people how to fill their cup, because once you become aware of how to set a solid foundation for yourself, which is knowing your core values, the two things that are most important to you, just being aware of knowing your core values is going to help you get your mind right, start setting healthy boundaries, and validating yourself. So those three things in itself are huge. Just from knowing two things about yourself, you can really start to gain confidence, feel secure, teach people how to treat you so you're not so frustrated, understand why certain things are important to you, why you attract certain friendships, why you get into the same arguments. You know what I mean? You just really learn more about yourself. So when someone challenges your identity, you're not feeling less than. You can
Yeah.
sit with someone thinking something false about you without completely spiraling or backlashing. And I think that's really cool. I think that's so sustainable. Just like those are the types of people I think that really go out and change the world. So that's what we talk about and cover in my coaching program.
That's so awesome that you're going to launch this into a program. Oh my God. I love values. I love core values as well. To me, that's like having a wall, and the values are the magnets, and you can just throw stuff at it. And the
Yes,
things
absolutely.
that stick, they need to stay. And the thing that just bounce off, you don't choose for those things.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that. Oh, it's amazing that you're gonna launch a course in this. I love it. I truly do. How to fill your cup. Yeah, that's so important. Having the energy to take care of you, to do whatever you like in life, and contribute positively to our precious little planet.
Yeah.
Really cool. So, um, from your course onto how do you do that, filling your cup, but also mostly how do you do sustainability? I think that's the main question here.
Yeah. So do you mean like after we kind of become more of a sustainable human, like how do we impact the planet?
More like, yeah, what can you do to care for our planet? What kind
Yeah.
of, yeah, how do you do that?
So for me, I always say start small and start with your grocery list and pick one thing on your grocery list that you can find a sustainable swap for. It could be toilet paper, maybe you're switching to bamboo, maybe you're switching to paper wrapped toilet paper instead of plastic, maybe you're swapping out for a bamboo toothbrush. It could just be one thing. And I think finding joy and appreciation and excitement in just this little tiny small change is going to be sustainable. It's going to keep you excited. It's like, okay, I did it. Like this is so cool. I'm seeing the change. What else can I do? So the next time you have your grocery list, you're like, okay, what else can I swap out? So it's like a fun game that you've created for yourself instead of creating all this pressure. So I say start small and pick one thing.
Yeah, start small and really, truly, extremely small.
Yeah.
That's when you started out, I was like, yeah, my grocery list, I can do everything on my grocery list at once. And he said, well, one thing, that's it. That's really good thing to start. Just appreciate the very tiny step that you take, because that's making a difference.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
It starts all on a micro level
Yeah.
with yourself. Yeah. Yeah, I love that example with your grocery list. That's a thing. Are there other things like you can do that? Yeah, no, are there things that you do yourself that are really sustainable? You already mentioned eating vegan.
Mhm.
What are other things that you do to live sustainable?
A huge thing that really impacted my trash, my landfill trash output was starting to compost. And luckily, I live in Arizona where there is a service that can come pick up your
Yeah.
compost. So I just have like this bin and I fill it up and they come and swap it out. They take the full one and leave me an empty one. So I don't have to deal with the smelliness and the messiness because I used to live in an apartment. So I think composting really, really helped bring that. Like I don't have to take out the trash nearly as often. And it actually helped me create a very small trash can for myself because I wasn't taking it out. I think I kept track in 2020 and I only took out my trash one time. And from there, I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to reduce the size of my trash bin because I don't need this big one anymore. And you just really start to see the difference because we eat every day.
Yeah. Yeah, we do.
We snack, we do all these things. And it just was the thing that encouraged me the most because I physically saw I wasn't needing to take out my trash as much. And that was super encouraging.
Yeah, that's amazing. Starting with the, yeah, composting. You can also do it in your backyard if you have one.
Yeah. And I haven't dabbled in that yet. My mom does, and she's killing it.
Oh,
So
good.
once I have my own yard, I'll be excited
Yeah.
to try it.
Yeah, it's not, yeah, you have to have a yard. That's true. That's making it a lot easier to do that. Another question I have for you, because especially like we promote sustainability and we're like, take care of our planet, do whatever you can to change the world. But I also promote imperfection. So what do you do that is not sustainable?
That's a good question. Let's see. I mean, I still fly, like I
Yeah,
still
me
fly
too.
if I need to get somewhere. There are still things that I will buy, like even at the grocery store, that might be wrapped in plastic, but will be plant-based, or something that is gifted to me that isn't sustainable, but I'll still use it, or I still get plastic bags sometimes, or forget to say to the server, can I get that with no straw? It's just a
Oh
part of
yeah.
life. We're not perfect humans. And so our journey isn't going to be perfect. And so, sometimes I'll buy stuff on Amazon
Oh
that's
yeah.
that's plastic, or, especially if I'm going to like a birthday party or something, it's like, I don't want to impose my beliefs on other
Yeah.
people. So I don't want like a 5-year-old to be like,
Yeah.
what's this present? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If it's like
Yeah.
they have their little register or whatever. So I'm like, yeah, like I will buy you what you want, because it's,
Yeah.
your beliefs aren't my beliefs. And I don't want you to feel like I'm looking down on you. Like everyone's journey is different. So
That's so true. Everyone's journey is different. I think this emphasizes the difference between America and Europe. We have, especially with the plastic, since recently we have rules about the plastic straws and the plastic bags. You can't buy a plastic straw around here in Europe anymore. It's not possible. They don't sell those anymore. So you get
wow.
paper straws. Honestly, it's not a very success if you ask me. You get like this soft, and it's just, I prefer
Not
just
great.
without. But and plastic bags, you have to, if you want a plastic bag, you have to pay for it. That's at least in the Netherlands, but I think that's European Union wide, Europe wide.
What a
So
concept.
that's really different. That's interesting with talking to the other side of the world here from the Netherlands with Arizona in States. Yeah, that's super interesting.
So interesting, because like for you it's normal, like you have to pay to have plastic, whereas for me it's like, if I ask for no plastic bag, people are like, why? It's free.
What? What did you
It just
do?
doesn't make sense. I'm like, oh, I know it doesn't make sense to you, but that would be really nice if you could, you
Yeah.
know, give me a paper bag or let me use my own grocery bags. That's so
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, that's really, it's like it's a different world. Even though we're both super, I know, Western kind of culture, so it's also similar, but in this ways, I think Europe is a little bit of ahead of the United
Absolutely.
States. And I think it also matters where you are in the States for these kind of rules, right?
Yeah, there's certain states, like, or even cities, really not even the whole state,
Mm.
like San Francisco or places in Oregon or Washington, that are more eco-conscious,
Yeah.
and then you have places like more down south or in like this busier cities where it's just, it seems like such a huge task that they're not even trying to tackle it. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing, because we are dependent on our government to arrange these kind of rules, so you have to ask for it. And here in the Netherlands or in Europe, you can't. Yeah, you can ask, but they don't have like a plastic straw for you anymore. They just don't.
yeah.
Because it's, yeah, ruled from European Union rules. Wow. Okay, that came fluently out of my mouth. So back to the things that you do unsustainably. I also fly, by the way. I haven't been on a plane in a while now, but it's not something that I've ruled out in my mind. I just don't jump on a plane for every little short distance. Like last May, yeah, I think in May, I went to Paris. We have a beautiful train connection to Paris, so I took the train. I think it was just as fast as the plane, by the way.
Hmm, that's cool.
So yeah, but still, like next year I will go to Stockholm, and I will go by plane, because 2 days on a train for a weekend in Stockholm, that's not really cool. Well, time wise, it's not very efficient. So yeah, that's really cool. I think we mentioned this already a little bit, but the what can you do now, what we talked about. So you can watch 2 documentaries, the What the Health and My Biggest Little Farm. I think we talked about going vegan. We talked about composting. Is there anything else you want to add, like tips and tricks that you like tell your clients when they come to you?
I think what's really important is not making other people feel bad for how you're choosing to live your life, because it seems like the perfectionism is so real when we're looking at YouTube and Instagram and, TikToks and all these social media platforms. And I kind of get the sense that some of these people are not okay with being friends with people who live outside of how they've changed,
Yeah.
And for me, it's like, I never want myself, or I never want to encourage anyone to look down on anyone or make them feel bad, because that's not their journey. That's a huge thing. And also learning how to withstand the criticism or the people making fun of you. Like, I have friends that still make fun of me for asking for no straw, or bringing my own straw, or bringing my own cutlery. And it's just something that you have to stand firm in. Like, yeah, this is who I am. Yeah, it's weird. I get that it's weird to you. I understand that, but it's not going to change. It makes me really happy to live like this. So just kind of the dual way of like being able to bear that criticism and not giving it back.
Yeah, the not giving it back is so important, because with that you set an example for them to act with you as well, with your personal little things that you do different than people around you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I love that. We're so aligned on that part. I can only like nod, but people will not see that when they are listening to this podcast. I'm like totally with you. And I love that. Just don't impose others, and just, I don't know, when you shine bright as a person, I think that it's truly what it's about. Then you inspire other people. So when you're truly okay with your choice to not take a straw and ask for it, and be totally okay with that, that's going to inspire other people to do the same thing, without you having to say, I think you should not take a straw with that. That's better for the environment.
Right.
It's not going to work.
Right. Yeah. That feels icky. I don't like
Yeah. No, I did a quite good imitation, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Is there anything else that you want to share about yourself, your business, before we wrap this up?
Well, thank you so much for having me. And yeah, if there's anyone out there that wants to learn how to fill their cup so they can find their power and change the world, or want to reduce their waste, they can find me on Instagram at The Sustainable Phoenix, or on YouTube.
Yeah, I will put those links in the show notes, by the way. So people can find you easily when they listen to this podcast.
Awesome.
Yeah. Thank you so much for being here. There will be a day that I fly out to the States and I'll visit you in Arizona, because I truly love like this connection. It's awesome. For the people who are listening, thank you so much for listening. Down in the show notes, you will find a link to, or a couple of links to, Joanna Ashley with The Sustainable Phoenix, I think her website, their socials, YouTube. And I will put down links to my own website, eagermindsacademy.com, for if you want to dive in a course and check out how you can live your dream life and make an impact at the same time, because that's what my business is about. Thank you so much for listening. I hope to talk to you next time.